Sydney.
Hi.
Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, we enjoyed the film tonight. All of us are so excited to see it. I was telling the group here I've watched the Lifetime previous movies around Meghan and Harry a few times, and so I was just counting down the days to this evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. And thanks for watching.
So we talked about it a little bit before that this is actually the third iteration of the Harry and Meghan movie series. And we wanted to hear from you how you put a unique spin on your version of Meghan in this film. And she's a little bit older now and has gone through a lot more. So what did you kind of add to the character to put your own unique spin on it?
I think what was really exciting about this, being the third movie and being such a specific time in their lives, is that we got to really show them like in some of their strongest moments. Like this wasn't just like a fun young couple who have a rebellious streak and decide to get married even though everyone's not into it. Like this is mother and father, Meghan and Harry. This is political figures. This is they're squarely in their 30s. They're almost 40 in this, so they get to be like adults and use all of the experience that they have and all of the knowledge that they have. And so I just think we got to like ground it in a really strong time in their lives that I think maybe is a little different than the getting swept up in the romance of the first two movies.
I'm always curious kind of about the behind the curtain, if you will, and about how this was made. So my question is, can you tell us about the process of preparing for a role like this? Did you keep up with the royals prior to this? Just so like, okay, how do I move like Meghan, or kind of what your connection is with the family?
I think I kept up with them as much as a lot of Americans especially did prior to getting this role. I got up early to watch their wedding. I definitely watched the Oprah interview the night it aired because those were such significant historical moments. But in terms of like my knowledge of the royal family, it wasn't very deep. You know what I mean? Like I really didn't understand the whole idea behind the firm and the business of it. And what their roles are. These are not elected officials. So I always had trouble understanding, like, how does the royal family fit into a modern context and everything. So I feel like I learned a lot in that area. And we had 2 weeks of quarantine before we started shooting. So I had 2 weeks to like deep dive into all things royals, all things Meghan. There's a lot of footage because she was an actor and then she was a royal. So I had a lot of material to watch, and I would record her voice and listen to a lot of it to try and get her voice and everything. But at the end of the day, we weren't trying to get exact impersonations. We were trying to capture their essence and their point of view so that we could just really bring the story as it was written on the page to life. So we weren't trying to, have you the whole time thinking, oh my gosh, that is Meghan and Harry. We wanted people to get wrapped up in the story. So, and without it seeming like we're mimicking them or doing an impersonation. So really just trying to understand their point of view.
Where did you guys film this? I was curious on that. And what did it look like? Speaking of COVID, what did it look like for you to film this during this time?
So we filmed in Vancouver, which was perfect. They had spent a lot of time there in Vancouver. And obviously, Meghan had lived there while she was filming Suits. Mm-hmm. So, but it's amazing how so much of the weather and the a lot of the locations look a lot like the UK. So it worked really well. I'm sorry, you asked me, what was the second question?
I was curious, like, what was it like filming during
in COVID? Yeah, it's a whole other skill. It's a whole other element. I mean, they're literally designated people who their job on set was to make sure that we were safe and, following all the protocols and everything. So everyone's masked up, and only when they were about to say action would we unmask. So it is an added element, but film and TV is so collaborative anyway, and there are a lot of moving parts to making a movie. So it was sort of like, you know, once you got accustomed to it, it was like, okay, that's just another moving part to making a movie.
How long did it take to film this movie from start to finish?
It took 18 days, which
Really, that's it? I feel like
very
that's like,
fast. That is
yeah.
very fast. Yeah, with almost 100 pages of script in 18 days. So,
Wow.
you know, because of the pandemic and us quarantining for 2 weeks, we didn't have the luxury of having as long of a shoot. And so, yeah, we had to move quickly and confidently. So.
Gosh.
Speaking of filming, so can you tell us about what your favorite scene was to film, but then also do you have a favorite memory from set, just like in the entirety of the shoot?
Yeah, I would say, you know, the answer to all of those questions for me would be the first scene that we shot, which was the scene right after the Trooping the Colors. So Harry has just snapped at Meghan, understandably, he's under a lot of stress. And then they're at home and Meghan's with the baby and Harry comes in and apologizes. And it's a very intimate, tender depiction of a married couple. And it was the first scene that we shot after coming out of quarantine. And so, you know, there was a little bit of the, you know, first day jitters and a little anxious and everything. But I was so fortunate to get to work with Jordan, who is a friend of mine and we've worked together before. So we just were able to breathe and trust each other. And it kind of set the tone that like, it's going to be okay. We're gonna have that connection. And so you could feel everyone say, oh, okay, we're all good. You know, if we can get through a scene like that right off the bat, smoothly, and I think with a lot of depth and connection, then we'll be good. Now, I will say my favorite moment happened while we were filming that. We also, first day on set, we have an infant with us, someone else's child, you know, and so you're like, no pressure, just working with someone's newborn. And it was a little tense. And at the perfect moment, this sweet, adorable little baby just farted so loud and broke the tension. And it was like, we got a good laugh. Everyone like had a sigh of relief. And then it was like, all right, let's move forward and have some fun here. So it was like, I credit that baby with a lot of the movie.
Out of this last question, out of all those themes in the film, what do you really hope audiences watch the film and walk away with? What do you hope their main takeaway is?
I hope that that people no longer would just look at Meghan and Harry and the whole royal family as just these characters from the headlines. You know, that they become a little bit more humanized. They are three-dimensional people. And, you know, Meghan is a daughter, a daughter-in-law, a sister-in-law, a sister, a mother, a wife, an actor, an artist, an activist. Like she is a lot of things. She's not just, you know, as the headlines describe her, nobody is. So I hope that in portraying their intimate moments and showing what, you know, what we speculate, it's a movie, is the full story, maybe helps people to empathize with her a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, Sydney, we cannot thank you enough for joining us today. This is such a surprise. When I heard as well, I was like, are you serious? This is so exciting. So thank you for coming on with us this evening and with the group. We are all a big fan of you and you did a fantastic job. Congratulations. Really well done.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. So with that, we hope you guys enjoyed the movie and our chat with Sydney. Don't forget to promote the Labor Day premiere. It's at 8/7 Central. You can tag us on social, like on Twitter and Instagram at Lifetime TV, on TikTok at Official Lifetime TV, and use the official hashtag Escaping the Palace, and we'll be sure to repost and retweet you. You can also follow Sydney on Instagram at SydMo7 and on Twitter at Sid_Mo. So thank you, Sydney, again, and thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed.
Bye.
Good night, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.